Hey,
Hey.
welcome back. I'm going to be doing the original 13 colonies today.
Yeah, okay. And some of those 13 colonies were Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Mass, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, Maine.
Excellent. All right, vocabulary. Colony. What is a colony?
A colony is a group of people. A settlement to a new area. The first English colonies in North America were along the eastern coast.
What is a colonist?
An English man or woman that moves to the New World of North America.
Excellent. Okay, each colony was unique in its own characteristics. However, they are grouped together based on location, reasons they were founded, and what types of industries they had.
New England colonies, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire, so all of the purple. Middle colonies, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, all of the green. Then southern colonies, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, all of the yellow.
Excellent. So some stuff about the New England colonies. Puritans, who were they?
The Puritans came to New England to escape from the king who punished them for their religion. They governed a strict colony that was based around the Bible and the church. They had elected officials. No women could serve in the Puritan government.
That is true. No women could serve. All right, New England colonies. The settlers here made a great deal of money fur trapping. Other economic opportunities in New England were based around the sea, fishing, shipbuilding, and whaling. The soil was rocky, and so the New England colonies were not known for their farms. Do you know where they do some shipbuilding in Connecticut?
They still do?
Well, it's kind of.
No.
Mystic Seaport. So if you go to Mystic Seaport, they can show you how some of the old ships were built back when they were just the colonies, and also New Haven, New London. That area really founded with their fishing and their whaling. So that's why they have that there. All right, so New England. People in New England lived in towns. They worked and worshipped close together.
The meeting house and the church are the most important buildings in the town.
And here you can see a little tiny town that could resemble what a New England town might have looked like back in colonial days. All right, the Puritans settled in Massachusetts. Now, because they were so strict, some Puritans left Massachusetts and founded other New England colonies. The colonies of New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Rhode Island were friendlier and more tolerant of people's differences.
Ooh, a time for a quiz. What religion was in control of Massachusetts?
The Puritans. Name 3 ways in which the colonies in New England made a living.
Well, they could fish.
Mm-hmm.
They probably could
Fur trapping. They sold the
True.
furs.
Yeah. And what's that one? And they went whale hunting.
Whale hunting. Very good. What was the soil like in New England?
It was very rocky.
Very
and
rocky.
Sandy.
So it was hard to have big farms.
Yeah.
All right. By 1750, busy cities cropped up around New England colonies, and Boston became world famous for its shipping ports.
Like you can see, what maybe their shipping ports could have looked like in the picture.
There you go. All right. Schools. What would happen at a school?
One teacher, one room, very strict. Children were often whipped for punishment. The main subject was reading.
Good. Excellent. Well, maybe not good if you're getting whipped, but, good reading. All right, the middle colonies. Vocabulary, the breadbasket colonies. A nickname for the middle colonies because they produce so much grain, oats, wheat, and rye. What is an immigrant?
A person that comes into a country to start a new life. People came to America from many different places to start a new life.
What is diversity?
A group of people from very different backgrounds. Middle colonials were interesting places to live because of the diversity among the people.
Because not all of these colonies were founded in the beginning by the English. There was a lot of other countries that came over to the New World and started to settle here. So because of that, a lot of the middle colonies had a lot more diversity. All right. The settlements here in the Middle Colonies were considered royal colonies. The king sent governors here to watch over the Middle Colonies. However, it was very difficult for the king to have much power over the colonies, and many colonies were considered to be self-ruling.
And as you can
Oh,
see,
sorry.
there are some red lines, and assuming that's where he sent them.
Very good.
Middle colonies are based on
Agriculture.
Small farms that produced many different crops. There was also factories that produced iron.
Very good. Sometimes called the breadbasket colonies because they grew so many crops for making bread. The land was lush and fertile. The wagon was invented in Pennsylvania and used for trade.
The Quakers. This religion was a big part of life in the Middle Colonies. Although other religions were welcome, the Quakers came to Pennsylvania to escape the persecution by the King of England. Lived in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania.
Excellent. Now the Southern colonies. An overseer. What is an overseer?
Someone that was hired to watch slaves as they worked. Plantation owners hired overseers to watch the slaves and make sure they did their jobs.
What is indigo?
A plant that was used in making blue dye. Farmers grew indigo plants. Indigo is an important cash crop in the southern colonies.
Excellent. Southern colonies. The settlers here, for the most part, wanted to make money. They brought their families, and the slaves worked the land. Many settlers here were rich and owned large plantations. A plantation grows only one type of crop, very different from the farms of the Middle Colonies. And the one thing that we did talk about before is that when they came over, they were given the opportunity that the more people they paid for to come over, the more land they would get. So when the rich came over and they bought land and they brought their families and they brought their wives and their children. Sometimes they bring their parents or their mother-in-law and father-in-law. The more they brought over, the more land they got. So you could see one family come in and getting thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land.
See, they have some stuff in there, and some of them are empty, but as you can see, we have a barrel here, and a barrel here, and a barrel here.
Those are different types of things they would ship out. A lot of that would have been either looking at different types of crops that you put in a barrel and ship overseas back to England. Okay, economy. Almost entirely agricultural. Plantations were abundant. A large part of the workforce was African slaves. Plantations grew tobacco, rice, and indigo.
Slavery was illegal. Children born to slaves became slaves themselves. Slavery was legal. Children born to slaves became slaves themselves. Slaves were imported from Africa. Slave traders made a great deal of money.
Colonial life. Now, this is just broad colonial life in terms of looking at all of the different regions. So what do you do for free time?
Make new clothes. Sleigh rides and ice skate. Barn raising was a social event.
So start with this. So barn raising, you could try and see how quickly you could put a barn together and raise it up. That was part of their free time for fun. Dances and social clubs and plays. Those were their main ways that they had some free time and some fun. Conflict in the colonies. As the colonists settled and spread across New England, they entered land that was already lived on by Native Americans. The Native Americans and colonists began attacking each other's villages.
They had very different ideas about owning land. Natives believed no one could own the land, while the colonists believed you could own it if you claim it.
Arguments began to lead to war, resulting in lives lost. Some tribes were nearly completely wiped out because the English settlers had many advanced weapons. And that's going to conclude what we have today for our PowerPoint on the 13 colonies.
Bye-bye.